This green glass dish has a bust of an unknown military figure. Google Lens does not identify him, and there is no writing. It was found at an estate sale in Atlanta. Who is the figure? You may fire when ready, Gridley. That is Admiral George Dewey, a hero of the Spanish-American War. In the wake of his victory at the Battle of Manila Bay in 1898, Admiral Dewey became a massive national celebrity in the United States. A huge amount of commemorative merchandise was produced in his honor, including this glass dish made by the Greentown Glass Company in Indiana. This specific dish was churned out in various colors, including amber, blue, clear, and milk glass. It's a classic piece of American historical commemorative glassware from the turn of the 20th century. This small green pouch with beads in it is above a doorway in an Airbnb. It's maybe 2 or 3 inches and feels like it has small beads inside. The finder thought it might be an air freshener, but it has no scent. Could it be for bugs or something Wiccan? This could be a charcoal odor absorber. These small pouches, often made of a breathable mesh or fabric like this one, are filled with activated charcoal beads or granules. Activated charcoal is extremely porous and is very effective at absorbing and trapping odor-causing molecules from the air, thereby neutralizing smells rather than masking them with a fragrance. They don't have a scent of their own, but they work passively to absorb any ambient odors. They are often placed in closets, cars, refrigerators, or small rooms to keep the air fresh. Found in a box of antiques, this has electrical wires inside and a button that pushes down like it's to turn something on and off. What is this old electrical switch for? This is a servant's buzzer, or a servant call button. The commenter notes their 1929 Tudor home had one. In large, affluent homes of that era, these buttons would be installed in rooms like the dining room, parlor, or bedroom. When a member of the family needed assistance, they would press the button, often discreetly with their foot if it was under a dining table. This would complete an electrical circuit, ringing a bell or activating an annunciator panel in the servants' quarters, summoning a maid or butler to the room where the button was pressed. 2 mysterious cut rocks with carvings were placed on a fountain wall in Turkey. Both are 100 centimeter wide, missing pieces, and painted white. The fountain itself is made of rocks, later painted white. What were these carved stones originally? These carved stones are likely fragments of some Roman-era relief sculpture or, quite possibly, a gravestone that was repurposed as a building material for the fountain. In many parts of the former Roman Empire, like Turkey, it is not uncommon to find ancient carved stones from ruined buildings or cemeteries that were later reused by subsequent builders as a convenient source of quarried stone for new constructions. The intricate carvings would be from their original life as a decorative architectural element, part of a sarcophagus or a funerary monument that have been cut and incorporated into this much later fountain wall. Found at the beach of the Caspian Sea, this shimmery glass ball was called Heart of the Sea. It is not hollow and has a small flat base. The finder thinks it might just be a decorative piece. What is it? This might be a boating ball. Boating balls, also known as Chinese exercise balls, are a type of stress relief and hand exercise tool. They typically come in pairs. The user holds both balls in the palm of one hand and rotates them, causing them to move around each other. This is believed to stimulate acupressure points and improve finger dexterity and wrist strength. While many have chimes inside, solid ones made of glass, stone, or metal are also common. The flat base might be for displaying it when not in use. It's possible just one of a pair was found. Found in a garden, this weird-looking metal thing seems to be made from iron. It has a large top part that must have been some sort of blade, and the back looks like it's been regularly hit with a hammer. The gap between the blade and the hook on the bottom is large enough for a hand. What is it? This looks like an old hoof pick. A hoof pick is an essential tool for horse care. It consists of a sturdy handle and a metal pick, which is used to clean out dirt, mud, stones, and other debris from the underside of a horse's hoof. The blade part might be a wider scraper, and the hook on the bottom would be the pick itself. Its heavy iron construction would make it very durable, and the dent on the back might be from it being used to tap on things, though hitting it regularly with a hammer is less typical for standard use. This palladium jacket has a metal ring at the bottom of the back on the outward-facing side. What is its purpose? This is a locker loop, but in an unconventional location. A locker loop is a small loop of fabric, or, in this case, a metal ring, that allows a jacket to be hung on a hook without a hanger. They are traditionally found on the inside of the jacket, just below the collar. This one's placement at the bottom is unusual, but the commenter suggests you could zip the jacket up and hang it upside down from this loop. It's a functional detail, allowing the jacket to be hung in a locker or on a peg where a full-sized hanger might not fit. This looks like an AirTag, but has a weird texture and a button on it. What is it? This is a Finder tag, an AirTag alternative. While Apple's AirTag is the most well-known Bluetooth tracker, many other companies make similar devices that work with either Apple's Find My network or their own proprietary apps. These alternatives, like this Finder tag, often have slightly different features, such as a different texture, a built-in hole for a keyring, which the AirTag lacks, or a physical button. The button might be used for initial setup or to make your phone ring in reverse, a common feature on many tracker tags. This small, wound-up metal band compresses like a spring and is hollow through the middle. It was found on a sidewalk in SE, Michigan. What is this common hardware component? This is a return spring, commonly used in various hand tools like sheet metal cutters, wire crimpers, wire strippers, or heavy-duty snips. It is designed to be placed between the two handles of the tool. When the user squeezes the handles together to make a cut or a crimp, the spring is compressed. When the user releases their grip, the spring pushes the handles back open automatically. This makes repetitive work much faster and less fatiguing, as the user doesn't have to manually pull the handles apart after each action. It likely fell out of a broken or disassembled hand tool. A free table came with this rectangular black hard object attached to its side. It can't be removed by hand and doesn't light up or make noise. What is this mysterious add-on? The company Erie makes video game controller and headphone mounts, and this is very likely the base of one that was left on the table. The commenter notes that the bottom edge looks like it was broken off. This would be the adhesive base that was stuck to the side of the table. The actual holder part, the hook for the headphones or the cradle for the controller, has snapped off, leaving only the mounting plate behind. To remove it, the commenter, a furniture maker, suggests trying to cut the adhesive by sliding some strong, unflavored dental floss behind it. These steel punches, all less than 6 inches long, have zigzag pattern tips. They were found in an old toolbox with other antique tools. They look like punches meant to cut curled or jagged edges, but their formal name and specific purpose are unknown. What are they? These tools are called pinking irons. Before the invention of pinking shears, the scissors with a zigzag edge, these punches were used by seamstresses, tailors, and upholsterers to create a decorative, zigzag edge on fabric. A piece of fabric would be laid on a soft surface like a lead block, and the pinking iron would be placed on the edge of the fabric and struck with a mallet. This would cut the distinctive zigzag pattern, which not only looked decorative, but also helped to prevent the edge of the woven fabric from unraveling or fraying. They are a beautiful example of a vintage sewing and textile tool. This round, tiny metal flask was inherited in a wooden cigar box with photos from 1950s Germany. It's about 6 centimeters tall. The 2-part cap doesn't close the bottle fully, as the top part is open with a metal cross inside. A small stamp might indicate it's silver. What is it? This is identified as an antique perfume bottle. The intricate 2-part cap is a clue to its original design. The commenter correctly points out that the lid originally would have had a cork bung or stopper inside it. This cork would have sealed the bottle's opening, making it leak-proof. The ornate, open metal part of the cap with the cross is purely decorative and would have fit over the cork. Over time, the cork has deteriorated and been lost, leaving the metal cap non-functional as a seal. These small, elegant perfume bottles were common personal accessories. A guest at a B&B in the Dolomites left this in the trash. It's some sort of synthetic roll-up hiking gear meant to clip around a large object. It's not a back protector, as it's not stiff. Pulled as tight as it goes, it's way too loose to fit a person. What is it for? This is a foot hammock, a clever accessory for travelers, especially on long flights or bus rides. It is designed to be looped over the tray table arms of the seat in front of you. You then rest your feet in the hammock sling. This allows you to elevate your feet and change their position during a long journey, which can help to reduce swelling, relieve pressure on your lower back, and improve overall comfort. Its lightweight, roll-up design makes it very portable, a perfect item for a hiker or traveler in the Dolomites to have in their carry-on. Hidden at the back of a kitchen drawer, these two hard plastic objects have the same conical shape. One has elongated holes, and a single lid screws onto both of them. It's not certain if they are food-related. What are they? These could be inserts for an iced tea pitcher. This would be a system for brewing and chilling iced tea. The conical insert with the elongated holes would be an infuser. You would fill it with loose tea leaves or fruit slices and place it inside the pitcher with water to brew or infuse flavor. The second, solid conical insert would be for ice. You would fill it with water, freeze it, and then place the solid ice core into the pitcher. This would keep the iced tea cold without diluting it as the ice melts. The single screw-on lid would fit both inserts. Found on the street, this is an electronic component that smells sweet and fruity, like an e-cigarette. It has two knobs, a battery, a display, and what appear to be two vape coils. The UFO on the display is a mystery. What is this? This is indeed the internal assembly of a vape or e-cigarette, but likely a more advanced or customizable model. The battery is a typical vape type, and the coils are the heating elements that vaporize the e-liquid. Having two coils indicates it's a dual coil atomizer, which can produce more vapor. The display would show information like battery life and vape juice level. The UFO is almost certainly just a fun, custom graphic or logo programmed into the device's firmware by the manufacturer with no functional meaning. This is what's left after the outer casing was broken or removed. Found in the Erie River in Chartres, France, these are metal and plastic boxes, about 1 meter to a side. What are these submerged, modern-looking boxes? An accompanying picture of the opposite river wall at night solves the mystery. These boxes are part of a light installation. They are waterproof housings that contain powerful lights, likely LEDs. During the day, they are just unassuming boxes in the river. At night, as part of a city's light show or architectural lighting scheme, Chartres is famous for its Chartres en Lumière event. These submerged lights are turned on, illuminating the historic bridges, buildings, and riverbanks from the water, creating beautiful and dramatic reflections on the river's surface. While moving, 4 or so of these windowless red houses were noticed off the side of the highway, in the middle of nowhere. They are hours away from anything, with not even a road leading to them. The picture quality is poor. What are they? As the commenter notes, the location would be very helpful. Without a precise location, identification is speculative. However, windowless structures like these in remote locations are often related to infrastructure. They could be sheds housing equipment for a pipeline, pumping or monitoring stations, telecommunications, repeater stations for fiber optic cables, or railway signaling systems. Their uniform color and construction suggest they belong to a single company or utility. Their windowless design provides security and protects the internal equipment from the elements and vandalism. This is an office in a courthouse, at a time when spittoons were still in use. Above the desk are 2 tall things. One is a black box. The other, the object in question, looks to be a thin white screen, perhaps 12,024 inches, with a pointer of some kind pointing to it. What is this? This thin white screen is most likely a framed document with text that has been washed out due to the quality of the old photograph, making it appear as a blank white surface. The pointer might simply be an illusion created by a shadow or an object in the room. At the top of the frame, one can faintly see something that looks like a logo or a seal, which is consistent with an official document, a diploma, a certificate of office, or a legal notice, which would be appropriately displayed in a courthouse office of that era. There are two of these empty plastic outlet things in a newly bought house, one upstairs and one downstairs, both above light switches. What are these empty plates? This is a thermostat mounting plate. When a thermostat is removed from the wall, this is the plastic base plate that is often left behind. The thermostat itself would have clipped onto this plate, and the wires that control the heating and/or air conditioning system would pass through the hole in the center. The previous homeowners likely took their smart thermostats, like a Nest or Ecobee, with them when they moved, leaving behind the standard mounting plates. You can now install new thermostats onto these plates. This small concrete building is on the Pennsylvania shore of Lake Erie. What is its purpose? This is exactly like a water level monitoring station. Government agencies like the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, or the Army Corps of Engineers maintain a network of these stations along coasts, Great Lakes, and rivers. The small, robust, concrete building houses sensitive instruments that continuously measure and record the water level. This data is critical for monitoring tides, storm surges, lake levels for shipping, and for long-term studies related to climate change and coastal management. The data is often transmitted in real time via satellite. A new house has this kitchen pull-out cabinet that has 4 bars at the top. What are they for? This is likely a pull-out towel rack. The narrow, full-height pull-out cabinet, often located near a sink, is a clever way to use a small space in kitchen design. The bars are for hanging kitchen towels, dishcloths, and sponges. By having them on a pull-out rack inside a cabinet, they are kept neatly out of sight, but still have good air circulation to allow them to dry properly between uses. It's a functional and integrated solution for kitchen linen storage. These strange baskets on poles are found all over a local county nature preserve in northeastern Ohio. They are generally in clusters of 2 or 3 and look like they are each covering a single branch of a bush or tree. What are they for? The commenter has seen these things being used to capture spotted lanternflies at the Bronx Zoo. The spotted lanternfly is an invasive insect that is very harmful to trees and crops. These baskets on poles are likely a type of trap being used by the nature preserve for monitoring or control of this pest. Different types of traps are used, but they often involve a funnel or a sticky surface to capture the insects as they climb up the trunks of trees, which is their natural behavior. Found in a village in Turkey, this thing is big and wide and has a circle-like top. The finder doesn't know what it is or what it was used for. What is this outdoor decorative item? This appears to be either a bird bath or a large, shallow planter. As a bird bath, the wide, shallow, circular top would be filled with water for birds to drink and bathe in. As a planter, it would be filled with soil and planted with flowers, particularly shallow-rooted ones like succulents or annuals, creating a beautiful garden feature. Without seeing the depth of the top basin, it's hard to be certain, but both are very common decorative and functional items for gardens and courtyards. Buried under mulch on the side of a house built in 1925 are these odd-shaped concrete forms, about 4 feet. What were they for? Those were for in-ground trash bins. The commenter's town had them until the 1990s. This was a system where a metal or concrete basin was sunk into the ground, and a standard metal trash can would then be placed inside this basin. This kept the cans neat, out of sight, and prevented them from being knocked over by animals or wind. When garbage collectors required residents to put their trash cans out on the street for modern collection trucks, these in-ground systems were abandoned, and the basins were often simply filled in with soil and forgotten. This is a singular concrete hole in the ground with a thick plastic, mini propane canister-like object anchored to the bottom. It sits about 20 feet from the bank of a river in Vancouver, BC. It's in a newly developing area. What is it? This is definitely a monitoring well used for sampling groundwater. An environmental sampler confirms this. These wells are bored into the ground to monitor for contaminants in the groundwater, such as PFAS, TCE, or petroleum products, especially in areas with past industrial use or before new development. The thick plastic object inside is part of the well screen and casing. Environmental technicians use a special pump, like a peristaltic pump with clean tubing, to draw water samples from a set level within the well for laboratory analysis. The concrete protects the wellhead. Partially buried in a park, this was thought to be a firecracker, but is mechanical with a red wire on one side and a white one on the other. What is it? This is an 18250-sized lithium battery. Lithium-ion batteries come into various standard cylindrical sizes, identified by numbers representing their dimensions. 18 means it's 18 millimeter in diameter, and 250 means it's 25.0 millimeter long. The wires attached to it suggest it was part of a battery pack or was wired into a specific device, possibly a high-power flashlight, a vape, or a hobbyist's electronics project. Finding one buried in a park is odd, but it is a common type of rechargeable battery. This is a foot-long plastic thing with dimples and a piece of blue foam. It has notches for adjusting at one end. What is this piece of personal care equipment? This is a back stretcher with an adjustable position, and the commenter owns the same thing. It is a simple orthopedic device used for lumbar support and stretching. The user lies on the floor and places this arched device under their lower back. The curved shape helps to stretch the spine and relieve tension in the back muscles. The notches at one end allow the user to change the height and intensity of the arch, providing a progressively deeper stretch as their flexibility improves. The blue foam provides a comfortable cushion along the spine. This black metallic threaded thing with a pointy cone tip was found on the asphalt next to a car's back wheel. It's about 5 centimeters long. It looks like a car part, but similar parts usually have a ball or a notch, not a cone. What is it? This looks like a part from a tripod, specifically a spiked foot. Many professional tripods, used for cameras or surveying equipment, have interchangeable feet. For use indoors on smooth surfaces, they have rubber feet. But for use outdoors on soft ground, ice, or uneven terrain, the rubber feet can be removed or retracted to expose a sharp metal spike. This spike provides a much more stable and secure footing. This is likely one of those spiked feet that has unscrewed and fallen off a photographer's or surveyor's tripod. These metal poles are in a park. One is a spiral, others are poles with mesh-like cages. They are too small to be modern play equipment. Could they be bird feeders? After contacting the city manager, the mystery is solved. They are indeed old playground equipment that was left up in the butterfly garden to be used by squirrels and birds. The spiral pole was likely a small slide or a fire pole that a child could climb. The wired basket's function wasn't specified, but they could have been part of a climbing structure or a ball game. Instead of removing the old, potentially non-compliant equipment, the park has repurposed it as a kind of enrichment structure for local wildlife, as evidenced by a squirrel seen climbing on one. Found in a kitchen cabinet, this is a silver stainless steel cylinder, about 8 inches tall and 4 inches wide. It has 2 parts, separated by a spring. It weighs less than a pound. What is this kitchen appliance? This is the internal assembly of a stovetop coffee percolator. A percolator brews coffee by continuously cycling boiling water up through a central tube. The water then sprays over coffee grounds, held in a perforated basket at the top. This stainless steel cylinder is that central tube and basket assembly. The spring is what creates tension, holding the assembly together and pressing the basket lid down, ensuring the water is distributed evenly over the grounds. This whole unit would be placed inside the main coffee pot. This pink box with a fan is attached to a workbox truck in the Florida Panhandle. The finder assumes it's some sort of AC, but its placement on the rear doors is unusual. Could it be for refrigerant? It's a mini-split air conditioner, well, half of one anyways. A ductless mini-split AC system has 2 main parts, an indoor air handling unit and an outdoor compressor, jar condenser unit like this one. This pink box is the outdoor unit, containing the compressor, condenser coil, and fan. It is normally installed on the outside of a building. In this case, It has been mounted to the work truck's rear doors to provide air conditioning to the interior workspace, a clever, if unconventional, custom installation. If you love uncovering strange and mysterious objects, hit that like button and subscribe. Stay curious. More finds coming soon.